Hello everyone, this is Nan with another video on AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate Training. In this video, we are going to talk about Amazon Aurora DB. In the previous video, we went through a quick introduction of AWS database services. There are 4 different types of database services available, and one of them is Amazon Aurora DB. What is Amazon RDS and DynamoDB? You can refer to the previous video. So in this video we're going to talk about Amazon Aurora DB. Amazon Aurora DB is basically is fully managed relational database system engine, database engine that's compatible with MySQL and PostgreSQL. So both of these, if your company is using any one of these type of databases, it is compatible. Your company can switch to Amazon Aurora DB. The code and the tools and application you can use today with your existing MySQL and Postgres database can be used with Aurora DB. Compatibility: it is compatible with a MySQL and Postgres database without changes to the existing application. Aurora can give 5x throughput of MySQL and 3x throughput of PostgreSQL. And for MySQL, you can use 64 TB. For PostgreSQL, the database, the maximum one database size can be 32 TB. My Amazon Aurora DB cluster consists of one or more database instances. The cluster volume, which controls the storage of the DB instances. So cluster is basically one database and 2 replica DBs. So here this is replica number 1, this is replica number 2. Whatever is happening on the main primary instance is being written to the other database copies as well. So the advantage is, if this main primary database goes down, you won't so the users won't be disconnected. There won't be downtime, because the user will be automatically connected to Aurora replica. So replica will take care of this data, so everything is being redundant for high availability. So this is so you can create Amazon Aurora cluster on this with this database. Now let's jump onto the console and see how you can make a Microsoft Aurora DB. So in order to do that, we need to go down to databases section. Within database section, we have RDS. Within RDS, you can go into, because it is a type of relational database system. So what we can do is, you can go into the database. So last time we created our RDS of MySQL. This time we are going to create Amazon Aurora DB. So all you need to do, select Amazon Aurora DB. After that, we select compatible with MySQL or PostgreSQL. So we're going to go with MySQL. It will be provision or serverless. Now provision mean that you provision and manage the server instance sizes. So we can select size so here, if you go down, we will be selecting the instance size here based on our own requirement, and this is the instance size basically. But if you want a serverless Aurora basically is a managed database instance in which the instance you specify the minimum and maximum amount of resources needed, and Aurora scales the capacity based on the database load. This is a good option for intermittent or unpredictable workloads with this option. So we're going to go with a provisioned one. In both cases, you will get the database. Who decides this? This is mainly a decision of a database admin. Other than that, so here you select a provision database, replication feature, single or multi-master. This is that replica model or the clustering model where you can select one of them. I'm going to go with single master. You can create a replica later on as well. There is an option once the database is created. This is the version of SQL. Since we are making a MySQL compatible Aurora DB, you can select Postgres, and here you can select different versions. Template that we're going to use is test dev or production. We're going to go with the test dev. This is the database instance, the name where we need to connect to, and this is the username that we are going to use. In this case, just for you can leave it to you can leave it to admin, or mostly I change it to root. The reason is the SAA account in the databases is always root. So here I'm just gonna go with our default password, and I'm just gonna have a look at it. So the password is this, account is root. I've already written it down on a notepad, so I don't need to write it down again. So why am I writing it down in the notepad? So if you're working with many different resources within AWS, I prefer to write them down on a notebook, so that on a notepad here, the name of the database and the username and password here, just for remembering. So the database name will be database1 in this case. Here I'm gonna select with the whatever is the simplest one here. These are large names, so within this I'm gonna go with let's say I'm looking for T micro instance, which is good for this very small type of database. This is 2 gigs, and here I'm gonna get a small one, T2 small instance. So with T2 small instance, this is good for test lab environment. Do you need multi-zone, or do you need just don't create a replica? Here you can create a replica in another zone as well. I'm not gonna create a replica here. Within connectivity, we're gonna leave VPC as is, but here I'm gonna make sure that this is selected as yes, as public, and also the port number is 3306. I need it to be open from the EC2 instance from where I connect to. And other than that, there is additional information for the database. It is, I mean, you can create a database name later on as well, or database later on. If you don't do it, you can create it later on, or if you do it here, then at least you will start with one database. So I'm gonna name this demo db01, and in this case no failover preference, no backup required, and here encryption is enabled. So I'm gonna leave everything as is, and the master key is right here. Backtrack information, monitoring, logging, and all that, will just leave everything as is. So we're not selecting the maintenance window at the moment. So database will be created. Now once the database is created, database will be used by DBAs, database administrators, to connect them to the database, connect them to their application. So once the database is created, and the database is so there is database instance is being created, it will take few minutes before we can start using this database. But in the meantime, we will prepare our EC2 instance. So I'm going to go to EC2 instance. We are all you need. So if this is the if you're looking at AuroraDB video, on this video, and you have not gone through the first video where we created the instance, then we downloaded the software. So all you need to do is to create a Windows instance. I created a Windows 2019 instance, and then made sure that the security port 3306 is open on this. So in this case, I'm just looking at the instance here, and the instance is showing me that this is the instance, and within the instance I just need to make sure that within the security group inbound port 3306 is open. If it is not open, all you need to do, go to edit and add a rule, and then select MySQL AuroraDB, and then you will be able to see this port. So all I need to do is this, and then you can log into the instance. So I'm logged into the instance, which is right here, and within the instance you need to download this software, MySQL Workbench software. All you need to do is to go to this website here, which is right here, this website. You can search for the word MySQL Workbench software, and once you're here, and I'm gonna go back one more. So you just need to download this software. You come to here, download this software, and while downloading this software for the first time on the server, you will also need an update this one. So C++ download. So if you have not, if you encounter this error, just go to my previous video where we have downloaded this software. So once the software is downloaded, it opens as like this. So so you will come to the home screen. So we already have a connection to our RDS MySQL from the previous video. We are going to create a new connection. So once you create a new connection, I'm gonna say this is demo DB01. Actually, I'm gonna name this demo Aurora DB01, and I'm gonna need the host name that we can get it from that we can need to get it from our console. So from the console, I'm gonna go back to the database, and first of all, let me make sure the database is available. I'm gonna go to the database, and in the database, I'm looking for the field called endpoint. So this is the endpoint, which is a writer version, not the reader version. So here we are going to copy this endpoint name and bring it to our EC2 instance, and here let's write this in the host name. Root password is root, sorry, username is root, password is password1 that we selected. Test the connection. If everything is fine, then it will be connected, otherwise it will give an error message like this. I'm gonna try again. Password. And also one more thing, I need to just make sure that here we have nothing else. So here I think there is a lot of spaces here, and let's test the connection. It is still failing, so it's called database1 cluster 01 with the root account unable to connect. So why is it unable to connect? Let's see that if the ports are open. So I'm gonna go back to the server here, and this is our endpoint. This is our database, which is AuroraDB regional database, sitting in US East 1, and also we need to make sure that if our instance is in the same region, it is in the East 1 region. Though it's in B, it's fine, it shouldn't matter, but the main thing that matters is the inbound port. So I'm going to look at the inbound ports, which is 3306, which is fine, and here IP address is fine, nothing required here. But the only thing that is required in this one is, so everything looks fine here, and I need to go to the configuration. Within configuration, we can, this is the name here, the password, the version, it's all seems good. Connectivity, so within connectivity I need to connect to this database here. So this is the instance name. I'm gonna copy this one more time here, and let me make sure if it is available to be connected. So go back to the databases. It says here available, but since I'm just assuming that the second instance, which is the copy of this database, is being copied, it is being created, that might not be the bottleneck. So so I will wait while this is being created. Once this is created, then we will try again, but in the meantime I'm gonna go and try again while this is happening. So here, delete. I'm gonna delete this, copy this again, go back to the home. See, there is no extra spaces or things here, and try again. So connection is not happening. So what we are going to do, I'm going to pause the video once this is created, and then we're going to try again. Okay, now that it is completed, so I just refresh that. So I have two of the database 1 and database instance. So this is the database copy, which is sitting on this instance here. db2.t2 instance is on E1b. It's in the region 1, and the availability zone is B. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try this time connect to this writer version of this, and all I need to do is to copy this endpoint right from here. So I'm gonna copy this endpoint from there for the writer version, and going into the EC2 instance. So let's go to the EC2 instance, and so once we are in the EC2 instance, all you need to do is to provide the name, AuroraDB1, and in the host name we're gonna copy this complete name right from the start, provide the password. Once the password is provided, all you need to do is click OK, test the connection, and it is successful. So now all we need to do is connect. So now we have two database connections. This is from video 1, this is from video 2, and once you go here, AuroraDB is connected. So this was the database that we created here. Now the database admin can create tables and connect to this database to whichever application they need to connect to. So in this database, in this video, we learned how to create a AuroraDB and how to connect it to an EC2 instance, which is basically how do you connect it to any application. So if you have that connection string, the endpoint name plus the port number, username and password, you can connect it to any application. Thank you for watching this video.